just have safe space for people to ask questions and just be who they are. And that's what we offer.
Yeah.
Like the weirder the better. Come on, it's totally fine. We'll flow with it. That's all we do. And to be able to experience different metaphysical modalities in a safe place without somebody being like, oh my God, I can't believe you. Are you a witch now? Here's the thing, everyone. You watched Harry Potter. Are you a witch now?
Look.
Welcome to the Harnessing Your Divine Feminine show, hosted by Andrea Bagby. We believe that when you give a woman an opportunity, you give her the world. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to our videos.
Oh, since we talked about the cult thing, I had somebody else come out and they told me they were in a cult, and then they told me about the cult schools that were built from the cult. I went to one of those. She goes, there's a whole Facebook page. And she goes, you should go in there. And there's so many kids complaining about the same thing that I complain about. Demerit system, you had to put a flag up. You had this little cubby that you sat in. And you either put the Christian flag up or the American flag up. A Christian flag up meant you could go grade your stuff with a red pen. If you had a red pen, you were the shit. I didn't even know other people did this stuff. There's an entire huge Facebook community on it about all the counseling they've needed from going to school. You got whooped at those things. Yes.
It was like insane. And then if you were caught having sex, it was like a big meeting with the parents. But then really everyone was really having sex with everyone anyway.
Yes.
But everybody was like in my vagina at like 13. So then what I did, I decided, well, it didn't happen. It was just a very natural evolution for me to be with women. But I think I was kind of traumatized about the idea of being pregnant and unmarried.
Yes.
That I was like, well, I'm not going to get pregnant. I can meet those needs. So it backfired. But in those culty, and I won't say any names or organizations, but you know what? They need to stay out of people's vaginas.
They talk about
the sex life, especially in minors.
Oh gosh.
And virginity should not be even brought up at all in only with like your doctors and your parents, right? It should not be like a make or break deal. Virginity.
Well, your virginity meant you were holy or worthy only as a woman, though.
Yeah, and I remember seeing girls just break down and have nervous breakdowns because they would have to admit into the group.
Yes.
Remember those groups?
Or you would go to the group, the pastor would be there, and then they'd have their deacons, and they were around you. And when they first found out that I was extra special touches by one of a relative, then relatives were deemed not available. And then should we cast the demons out of them? And what about the other male figures in her life? Did they have anything? So it was this witch hunt. Wow, I can't believe I'm talking about this.
Go for it, girl.
Oh, clear it. Take the power away.
Okay, it's time. Let's do it.
Oh, okay, so
take power away from it.
Yeah. All right. So, anyways, wow. Okay. So you really did mean flow, hooker. So when that was brought up, then you had to have a whole meeting about it. Then you had a meeting about it, but then the youth pastors were sleeping with other people, and other people were sleeping with the pastors, and then you were the chosen few, and then we were the chosen family because we cleaned their house. So then we actually lived in one of their rooms, all four of us.
Like literally, like clean their house.
This is actually wild to talk about.
So, yeah, and I think that's awesome that you're talking about it. Thank you, because it's happened to a lot of people, and we need to take the power away from that.
Releasing it.
Religious persecution, sexual persecution, having shame about not having the term virginity, which really doesn't matter anyway.
You weren't holy, you
weren't
clean, you couldn't have a connection with God.
Right, or that it's
going to hell.
Somebody's more
That's what they told you?
Right.
Yeah,
you're losing part of your soul. You give part of your soul and your spirit away with any partner.
And then not only that, it was then if you have one partner, every partner that they've had, you end up sleeping with them or something.
Yes,
like,
and they did a flow chart. They did a flow chart with the flow chart. With
that was weird church math.
Oh.
Weird cult math. And then I was like, well, maybe I should just never have sex. But that messes with your sacral chakra. And what does your sacral chakra do? Sacral chakra is in charge of creativity.
Yeah.
So it's in charge of business. You can use that sacral chakra, yes, to create children.
No, I mean, like that creates a blockage, absolutely.
Total blockage. That's why there's more cases of cancer in that sacral chakra with women.
If it's not flowing right. I
UTIs,
don't mean to go out.
gastro.
That don't mean to go out and sleep with everybody. Just be mindful.
Yes, please. We're not
Be
saying
mindful.
go have some fun. Well, no, I want you to have
maybe have
fun,
fun.
but don't
You do you.
be safe.
Okay.
Be safe. We'll go for be
But
safe.
it's a shame that it's like what y'all went through. Like,
I had no idea
This
until
is
you
new.
said something, and it has cracked a nutshell. Like a nutshell. You've known me forever, and I've never talked about this.
See, and I don't mean to be that way. I just trigger people naturally. I just walk into a room.
no,
and they're
it's
like,
stuff that needs to be brought out to
Yeah.
the surface to heal, clear.
So I can
Release.
see things on people. I'm telling y'all, I can spot a thief 35 miles away. Like if somebody comes over to
She
our
can.
house,
I'm like,
I'll be like, "Yep, put the tools up, inventory up," and they'll be like, "No," and I'll be like, "Just saying." Like, there's certain people in my family that will not join me in holidays because my brother-in-law is an attorney and I'm a psychic. So whoever's at my family dinner, you're eating Christmas dinner with a psychic and a lawyer. So it's fun. So we have to know that when we are going out, me and Felicia were talking about this. Okay, every corner there's a church.
yes.
And not all
Just on the
churches
way
are
over
bad.
here, it was like, wham,
I'll
wham,
say
wham,
that not
wham.
all churches are bad. Some of them do. I really like Unity. I really like Unity. I really like them. They seem to have it together. They've always been good to me and harnessing your divine feminine. We have to, and I don't speak for all churches. I've just noticed there's a lot of $1 million buildings going up.
Mhm.
And I still see a lot of homeless people. That is weird. That's math that doesn't add up.
Mhm.
I mean, I'll just say that math doesn't make sense to me.
As Tasha would say, make it make sense.
Make it make sense. Tasha, make it make sense.
At Tasha, right there.
But we still have marginalized women and children, homeless women and children, people with their needs not met.
Right. Trying to make it. Single
Trying to
mothers,
make it.
single fathers. It doesn't really matter. If you're single and you're doing kids, it's
Oh,
rough.
if you're single and you're doing kids,
It's rough.
you
It's
can't do
really
it
rough.
on one income.
No.
So back
especially
to the
not
flow
right now.
chart y'all were talking about.
Back to the first part. Wait, I
No, the flow
deflected.
chart. Remember, like, so this is new to me. Like, I'm learning as y'all telling me. Like, I'm like, okay, I didn't go through anything like that.
Yeah.
So it's all interesting to me because I know it's real.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't seem real. It doesn't.
No,
seems
it
like
is
that
real.
Was just a normal
It's
thing.
just
Everybody
it's
did
just
that.
hidden underneath the.
Small perspective.
Mhm.
It's just hidden. That's all it is. So y'all talking about the flow chart or whatever that is. Like what?
Oh,
So you and then whoever they had sex with, you had sex with, and then they had
like
sex with
you
it
were
too.
expected to.
so
No,
the idea,
no, not
no,
expected
you're
to.
not expected to.
You're bad if you do.
Because energetically or spiritually, like if I have sex with Amber Lee, I'm energetically having sex with Jason, and then
Yes.
whoever the exes were beyond that.
Now
She's
I
having
do
sex with
believe,
all
like
of them,
I do
technically.
believe in sexual energies are one of the most powerful energies out there.
Yes.
Oh yeah,
Absolutely.
Uh-huh.
And I do believe that. This is my opinion, but whoever, like, say I'm with her and say I go out and do something with somebody else,
Mhm.
you entangle with that energy.
Mhm.
Yes. Oh,
I
definitely.
totally, like, you take on that sexual energy as well.
Yeah.
I do,
But that
agree
don't
with
have
that,
nothing
yeah.
to do with what y'all talking about.
Like
the
if you're
flow.
going to heaven.
No,
Oh,
no.
but I'm just talking about as a personal thing. It affects you personally. Like it takes.
Absolutely.
And I just had a client last week, as a matter of fact. No names mentioned. And it was a guy, and I seen the old sexual energies on him, and he didn't say nothing to me, and I didn't say, I didn't want to get personal with him, and I was like, and he said something about an old relationship, and I went, "How long y'all been apart?" And he said, "About a year." And I said, "I felt it." I said, "Once you clean, I helped him, release that, but it was still like just stuck on him."
Oh yeah.
The sexual from the old.
Mm-hmm.
And I told him, I said, "You're gonna feel better. You're gonna make more money now. You're gonna be great after this." Because I mean, I could feel it. It was all right there.
There's a lot of women that I help do energy work on, and I'll just sort of like I have a way of just putting their sacral chakras back together.
Mhm.
I just have to pop it back together when they have trauma, like sexual trauma, or if they just have a really traumatic childbirth or a cancer. Like I kind of put it back together, and we need more of that. We need more putting the sacral chakra back together. Find a healer, go have it put back together. But I do think that all the there was a lot of talk in the 90s about virginity.
Oh yeah.
and that is shouldn't even be talked about unless you're a parent or a doctor. Like, period. It should, right?
It was in the school and the church.
No, a child should not have to deal with that kind of stuff. They should be thinking about what toy they're gonna play with next, instead of dealing with sexual stuff.
Yeah, even a teenager, there would be people too old to be talking to me about it, like men. Like
But
grown
that was
men.
common. Most
Well, like
sexualizing a child, no.
Talking to like a 14-year-old girl about virginity, like, no.
Yeah.
And that's what I think about that conversation we had a lot too. There were times when the cops really should have been called.
Yes, or they were called, and then it was all brushed under the rug, or
Yeah.
there was always something going on that you were,
Right.
as a kid, you're like, that seems weird. But then everybody made you and verbally checked in with you that you would have as an authority figure tell you everything's fine. It's not a big deal. It's okay. And then I go through my whole adult life thinking, hey, this is normal. Last year's retreat, I'm like, normal.
No.
I know. I know that
Wow.
changed. No, that changed you for life. You're like, you went through it too.
Wait, what the hell?
You said, like,
I just,
no, this isn't right.
Oh, and I have been praying and praying. When you get ready for that expanded consciousness level that is not really dimensional, it's more of a density of a different, and you, like you said, you can feel other energies.
You feel wide open, more wide open.
Yeah, I was like, okay, what do I need to let go of that's still clinging in there? So like when you see your aura, for me, when I see auras, when it's a negative or a jealousy or it's just off a little bit, doesn't mean they're evil. You see this little hair, or I see a little hair that's a different color. And it's almost like in the aura chakra colors of what they're dealing with. So like different colors, green, a little jealousy, a little passion. It depends on their deflection and their tone. And so all growing up my whole life, I was like, oh wow, you got a lot going on in there. Like names that will not be named. Somebody in my past, I used to call him Turkey, and he got really stuffy because all of his little all of his was like, and I'm like, whoa, because it's such a strong type of energy. But I didn't even know I had to. Yeah, but I asked for it inadvertently, and then you were in a raw, real situation that would have probably not come out.
Yeah, that came out for a reason.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it came out for a reason.
Oh
and
yeah.
Also, just every time I have an event, a healing event, I get a healing too. It's not.
Yes, same with clients. Every time I had, like when you guys came and I got to have fun with y'all, I had to go through things as well and see and
it
stop.
Hits you like
that's just how it is.
Yeah. It's like you're running smack into a brick wall at 80 miles an hour.
Yeah, it doesn't really feel good.
It's not. It doesn't feel good at all. And it gets easier though the more you do now. Kind of expect things to come. And
you're like, that would be peace that passes all understanding.
Right.
Oh, totally biblical.
Yeah.
You didn't learn that scripture. Hey, you got an extra credit and got smacked if you learned a scripture a week. Did you guys do that too?
I mean, we had to learn scripture, but I don't really learn it.
Well, no,
they used
I
to
wanted
yell
the
at me, though.
treats.
I
wanted food.
Yell
I wanted
at you?
the snacks because it was usually
you know what I didn't understand? Really, I didn't understand like how the Bible worked with all those little numbers and everything. Because I was still worried about my vagina. Now I have to dissect this book. It was like very stressful. And I didn't really understand all them like verses and chapters. I understand it now.
Well,
right.
Yeah.
No, I mean the Bible, I look at it in a different view than most people. Like it's a book of knowledge. It can be. I see genetics.
Yeah.
I look at it as a book of genetics. Yeah. And it's following a certain bloodline in genetics.
Now I can see it where it makes sense. I don't hate it. I don't hate Christians. I don't hate any of that. I'm pretty much chill with the whole thing, but there are some things that happen that need to be cleared, and we need to give other people permission to talk about it and speak out about it. Speak out about sexual persecution and abuse that happens in religious cultures. So because
all cultures.
It takes the power. No, there is some bad sexual persecution happening like in other countries. Like there's some like
my gosh, yes.
Like vaginal mutilation happening just to keep that virginity.
Yes. Oh my gosh, that's horrible when you
even in the spiritual community, you have people in the gurus or whatever that think they're higher up or whatever, and they try to persuade these women, what have you, or even men. It goes both ways. To have sex with this person or whatever it may be. So it's sort of in the in that spiritual community too. You know, like
So
when
it's
people think
Sex
of-
is not supposed to be bad. It's supposed to be a beautiful union.
Absolutely. I think
Beautiful
sex is
union.
awesome.
Not this.
Yeah.
"Oh,
not
you
no,
do it
I
this
got
way."
more power than you. I'm more knowledgeable. You need to have sex with me or whatever it is. No,
Yeah,
dude,
no.
I ain't got time for that.
I hope that anybody who I've ever been with knows that that's supposed to be a beautiful union, especially my younger humans.
It is. It's like one of the
Oh,
most
yeah.
powerful, and it can be the purest energies out there.
Right.
You know.
Well, there's a lot more resources now. Like the other generations are not as traumatized by it.
Yeah.
I mean, some of them are. Some of them that are still raised in super square boxes. Well, they're going to suffocate. They're either going to fight their way out of the box
Mm-hmm.
and they're going to live, or they're going to die early. Because what happens in boxes?
Get diseases.
You don't have any air. It's like you can't breathe.
Yeah. Slowly suffocate.
Oh, I'm
Yeah.
gonna put me a hole in that box. Don't you worry about
Right?
it.
With your knife pick.
Oh, I got me a knife, gun, whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. You just have to eventually, like, I pounded my way out of the box.
Mm.
Pounded it.
Apparently I lit mine on
You
And so
all
this-
in one
That's it.
evening. I'm
So
like,
this-
"Oh,
Church or what it called, whatever. They call it a church, I guess, right?
oh, it's the
Yeah,
safest.
something.
I don't know if we call it church, but yeah.
But it's still happening today, like the
Oh,
same.
gosh.
Oh,
yeah.
absolutely. It's still happening.
And you
And
don't
it's very
realize
accepted.
it until you get out.
You really don't. It's
Well, like when you're going through something, even like through a healing,
Yeah.
you don't realize how bad, even if you're being abused or whatever, you don't realize how bad it is until you're out.
Right.
And then you start getting clarity. And then you're like, how did I deal with that so long?
Right.
And that's where the clarity comes in. That's where the healing comes in.
Did you have the rapture practice thing?
Yes.
Okay, so my nervous system has been wrecked since rapture practice. Like no nervous
Because
system.
you'll never know when it's going to happen.
You never know.
man ever
You're
does.
just like on edge, and
Yeah.
you're hoping your vagina's okay. But the earth may end at any second. And then they would make us throw our hands up. Did you have to do that?
Yep.
We always have to practice. We'd have to be like, woo, rapture practice. Like,
Yes.
like we were going to ascend.
It was.
I didn't have no rest practice.
We had rapture
It's always
practice.
praise the Lord, and then down you go.
Yeah. Yeah.
Praise the Lord.
So complex PTSD
It
is
just
what that's called. I was like I literally used to live on edge thinking the world was going to end at any second.
right.
But you know, I'm so grateful I went through that because when COVID came, I was so chill. I was like,
I was like, y'all want me to stay home? No problem.
My daughters are like, good Lord, Mom, you talk about end times, and your mom too. And I was
Yeah.
like, well, everybody that I know, that's what we were raised. Rapture
Absolute
practice.
rapture
Rapture practice.
Yeah.
But it makes you just have this, okay. I mean, as soon as something happens, you're just
You're
like,
like,
all right.
No, I've had this
Alright.
obsession with Revelation for all my
Yes.
life, even as a child. I used to read it over and over and over.
Yep. Revelation was.
But it didn't do, but it was by myself. It wasn't.
right. You didn't do rapture practice.
No. I got left out.
The most
Yeah.
revelations I've ever learned was my father-in-law, my ex-father-in-law. That's all he studied was Revelation. Dude had it down.
I
So
love
like,
it.
if
I love
anybody knows when it's
Ezekiel,
happening, it's this dude.
Enoch, and Revelation. Those are my favorite.
Oh, yes. I got the Dead Sea Scrolls. And I mean, I went through all of it because when that started happening, I was like, okay, I hear what they're telling me, but I want to study the rest. And then you find out that St. James Church, that king, decided to take out 16 books that weren't considered the power books. And then when you go back and you read Enoch, which was removed as
There
well.
was eight books, wasn't there?
Yep, and they were removed completely,
Mhm.
and because they weren't deemed a powerhouse book. But and then they changed some of the scriptures just a touch if you study Greek and Hebrew. So I've studied Greek and Hebrew. Why not? Right? Why not?
Why not?
I want to know what's going on.
You're underachiever.
Yeah, I know, totally underachiever. I was like, well, why is there so many names for God? Why is God only like 100 years old? What
Mhm.
was it before? Where was it before?
Right.
And who deemed that it had to be called that? I mean, I always got in trouble because I always asked questions. Just why?
No,
Why?
I did too.
No
Why do you do that?
questions.
Why? And they're like, just because I said so. So finally, you got all these authorities to pick. I swear I'd never say that to my kids because I said so. And I have said it. I have
That's
said it.
that. You know what that's called? A de facto.
A de facto.
Yeah,
What's
because
a
I
de
said so. I remember that. I learned that as a kid because I thought the teacher taught me that, and it always stuck with me. They said when somebody said just because I told you so, that's called a de facto.
And what's a de facto?
Just because I told you so.
Huh.
That's what
Are
that
you
means.
for real?
Yeah, like authority.
I do not like authority figures. I'm really no. I would rather you guide me, because I'm not going to tell you what you have to do. I want you to figure it out on your own. I'm going to give you whatever
we can't take
tools
on
I
other
know of.
people's karmic dues. That affects you and that person. You know, you try to prevent it or try to stop it from happening. You just like, well, it's your path.
Yep. Best of luck to you.
It's your path, your journey.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's why I do it everybody. I'm like, well, it's your path.
You go for it. Whatever it is right now at this point.
It's a learning path.
Yeah. I'm so grateful for every breakup I've ever had, everything that didn't work out. I'm so grateful for it. I'm like, yes, thank you.
Yes.
Yes. And the metaphysical community. I'm grateful for the metaphysical community because I remember walking into my first psychic fair, and what stood out to me the most was everyone was so nice.
Yes. Oh my gosh. I always hear that. They're like, wow, I didn't realize you guys were so nice.
And I was like, and I
are we
literally remember going into the psychic fair because they asked me to come do like the new talent fair, like to try out to see if I could do it. And I really, to be honest with you, I hadn't really done readings on anyone I didn't know or taken a psychic development class. I was just like, well, it'll be fun.
Yeah.
I have nothing to lose. So I went in there and I just did the readings, and I remember like, I remember distinctly no one wanting to have sex with me or talking to me about sex. Because guess what? No one cared. Guess why? Boundaries. It would have been inappropriate to ask me if I was a virgin or gay or whatever.
Hi, my name is. And give me all your labels. I would like all your labels.
and they were just like happy with my readings. And then when I left, I got a call back the next week, and they were like, so do you want to come back and make money at this? And I was like, seriously, I could do that. I was just having fun.
Yeah.
And I always, from then on, I realized, wow, that's church. Like they're supposed to be kind, and no one judged what I was wearing. No one judged my tattoos. No one was like dissecting me.
Right. Oh, you got a piercing here. Oh,
yeah.
You've got to be Satan's child. You're totally Satan's child.
You're going down now.
There it is. Oh, crap. Oh my gosh. The other day, she's a well-renowned minister that a lot of people respect. Joyce Myers. Mm-hmm. Joyce Myers says she's going to go get a tattoo because she's sick of Christians saying that you're going to burn in hell to get a tattoo. She's going to do it just to piss off the religious people. And I was like, the one channel that I went through, like I was channel surfing, and all of a sudden she came up and I just stopped.
You know what? That's so interesting.
For a small moment.
That's growth for her because she was shoved down my throat as a teenager.
Yes, all the time.
Oh,
Joyce
down.
Myers.
We had to worship Joyce Myers.
Yeah.
First of all, how gay is this woman?
Oh, no,
like,
that I can't answer.
I'm like seriously, Joyce? Like, you don't have to be that psychic to figure that out.
I'm not calling that one.
But she also,
we love you, Joyce.
Oh, Joyce, seriously, grew up with
seriously.
You. Oh, met Jason at a Joyce Myers conference, by the way. He was going to protect me from another human who wanted to go.
She's helped a lot of people. She has helped a lot of people, I will say that. Her, because back in the day when she started, a woman couldn't just say, I'm the minister.
Right.
Even though she's clearly the minister.
I know the church I went to, they said, no, what done it for me is they said, oh, a woman can't be y'all can't do that.
You can't lead.
And I was like,
what about Mary Magdalene? Mary Magdalene was like, Jesus,
that's like the worst thing. We're like this. I went,
why?
Huh. I said, well, I'm not going to that one no more.
Well, let me stuff a sock down there. Just that verify for you.
So for
I
Joyce,
resonate as a penis now.
Every conference Joyce does, she has a man open up for her. Because a woman just can't be the center.
Didn't her husband used to go up with her on stage?
Yeah.
She used to have to sit with her because it wasn't allowed.
It wasn't allowed. She had to be a teacher and not a minister when clearly she was carrying the whole situation. Mm-hmm. Here's the thing though. And then the whole Joyce Myers ministry really went under attack because, she was so popular, she had security.
Yeah.
And so, because the paparazzi was everywhere.
It was a big deal to have
So now
paparazzi.
she's getting a tattoo.
So her organization, really just fell apart for a little while. And she was very under the gun because they were like, how did all those Christians not see there was someone in that organization screaming out for help?
Yeah. And it's not uncommon.
It's not uncommon.
Right. And not even in that organization. Let's say any organization, school with the teachers. Do they really know the teachers before the teachers hit their moment? Government.
They don't really know nobody.
The driver's license community. I walk in and I'm like, thank you for being nice to me. You know what I mean? Because you think of how many people they see and they've got to tell them no, because you got to follow these rules or you can't get this. And this is how much it is. So it's money and your freedom.
Yeah.
Driver's license people, I have immense gratitude for them. And bus drivers.
That's
bus drivers.
Yeah.
Peace to the bus drivers.
Oh, Lord.
And my nail lady, I love her. She's so fabulous.
Mhm.
I wait to see her.
But the suicide thing,
Oh yeah, back to that.
I don't. That's not something that's always visible.
No.
No, because people that say they're going to do it, it's usually cry for help.
Robin
Yeah.
Williams.
Yes, but
Nobody
most
really
people that are going to
knows.
do it, they're just going to fucking do it. I mean, that's all there is to
Well,
it.
I think that's why we have to bring the nurturing energy back, because there was a certain generation, not everyone in this generation, but there was the generation of like my parents, like the boomers. Not all of them. I have some great boomer people. They're absolutely fabulous and save my butt all the time. But nurturing was not like expressed correctly, or not even, it wasn't just expressed at all. It wasn't even like trying. So in a lot of that generation, nurturing was not. So I really try to nurture people as much as I can. I can be very bad at it because I'm not the most huggy, affectionate person, but I try to develop and nurture the most that I can.
Yeah.
And I do the best I can into reaching out for people. And like, I taught Felicia how to do a care package, and now she does it on her own. She would be like, why do we gotta do these care packages?
I didn't realize it, and I was like, I'm sending her this, and she's like, so you're doing a care package? I was like, I guess so.
Well, yeah, because you're sending your energy and your love and your intentions with.
Yes.
It's so fun. Arabella loves to get the mail for that sheer factor. And I was like, oh, I hope you never have to adopt.
I didn't know that it had a name to it, care package.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, I did a care package.
3 or more items that you would send to someone.
My mom loves getting your care package because it has extra stone. I love it.
I always
when I get
send
the
extra
sage
stuff.
and I'm like,
I always give extra.
Oh, you'll go here.
I love carrying the mystery box phenomenon.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that makes
blind
me so
bags.
happy.
Both of my young kids love blind bags. Like,
Yeah,
you just
blind bag too.
you open it up and you don't know what's going to be in there. And they would watch like YouTubers, like they'd get these huge blind bags, or there were these eggs, and they'd get so excited like they were opening it. And I was like, wow, yay! I'm so glad this is making you happy. I mean, how cute.
And like, I just love the mystery boxes. You can order them now.
Yes, Bella wants one.
You gotta order one. And I like because you can pick your price.
Oh, fun.
Like you can do like a $20 one or like a $300 one, and like everything in between.
I want to get the Amazon palettes that you don't know what's on it. You get to buy the palette. Jason, that's my birthday wish.
and it's like such a dopamine hit, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's
what's
like,
in there?
Well, I couldn't think. I was trying to think something for her birthday, and I thought, what could I get her that she really enjoys and likes?
You got to videotape her opening it.
And
That's
I thought,
the excitement because you relive your energy.
And I thought immediately, what makes her excited when she has it? I said, one of them damn mystery boxes.
Mystery box, yeah, 100%.
You and Arabella would be sitting there in hog heaven. Then, like, if you had a table like this size, just full, and somebody said, "Go in and open it," you go,
like I used to get the Hello Kitty grab bags. That's when it started.
Oh, yes.
That's when it all started for me. The Hello Kitty grab bags at the mall.
At the little store, I remember that. I still got my little bag.
Those were some
What's
good
that one I
times.
got? That little
Hello
frog?
Kitty. Oh, Karopi.
Yeah, I got
Oh,
him.
the little frog.
I got the little frog.
I love that little frog.
I got a little bag that I've had since I was a kid.
Yeah.
I still got it.
Oh, Kayla and Bella put them all over their backpacks. Like they do all their anime specials. And so they've got, do you know what this one is? And this one is, and this one is. Like Kayla just bought one for Arabella for her birthday. She was so excited to get it.
Oh.
And I was like, oh, but that was going to come from a ways. You got a budget for your shipping methods. And it was late. She was so bummed. She's like, oh, I missed her birthday. But
So
how
that's
we got
a
on
way
that
of
topic, I
nurturing.
don't know.
It's a way of nurturing.
Oh, there we
And
go.
we have to really bring back nurturing into our metaphysical organizations and our businesses.
Yes.
As the entrepreneurs part, we need to really work on developing people, developing their gifts, not canceling people, and holding space for people. I had somebody tell me the other day, she even was like, I'm getting you're good at like holding space for addicts. And I didn't peg myself as that, but I really just think that I'm good at like holding space for off the beaten path people.
You are.
Because
there's got to be somebody for them.
that is me. I am an off the beaten path person.
Yeah.
I am to an extent.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie.
There's no path. Go on a hike with her and she gets me lost every time off the trail. And then we're lost in the woods for like a little while.
It's about the journey then. It's
No,
about
it's
the
never
journey.
lost. We'll get back.
And I'll be like, we should stay on the path. No.
I can't do that.
We're not
I have to
doing
venture
that.
off. I have to go where I'm guided. I can't help it.
Yeah.
I get back on track.
Right. So when you're doing your like spiritual businesses, you have to understand we don't like know what anyone's going through. We'll know like a little bit, but not really. Also, we just have to hold space for people. We can't like dissect them or write them off, even when they do weird things or make business mistakes.
Yeah.
Everyone does that. That's a part of entrepreneurship. Unless you have $1 million company sending you money to start your business, you're going to make a mistake. You just have to own that and lean into it. Okay. And then and just do it as elegant as possible. And then you have to just always leave a door open. There's very few doors that I don't leave open. So if it involves abuse or breaking the law, I'll pretty much shut that door. But very few doors I don't leave open. Somebody having a bad day, fine. Somebody look a little roughed up, fine. I'll put you on stage. Come on, girl. We'll lean into it. But we have to always keep the doors open for people just to be weird.
Yeah.
Because they're processing trauma. Because as healers, we walk into a room and people just start crying. Mm-hmm. They're just triggered. Yeah. I can't help it. I'll literally be like, hey, my name's Andrea. And they're like, oh my God, you just triggered my eating disorder. And I'm like, yo, girl, I did not mean to do that. But cool.
Every retreat, there's something like that. Every retreat.
Yes.
Every retreat.
And I think that's why I still do them. Every retreat I go through a phase where I'm like, why am I doing this?
Yes.
I'm like, why am I doing this?
It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. And I know you've encouraged the rest of the people on your HYDF.
Mm-hmm. On my team, yes.
You've encouraged us, try retreats. Okay, so I've been planning for one.
No,
it's a lot. Okay, holy crap.
Yeah, it's like a lot. Yeah, it is.
I've been with you on how many now?
Yeah, it's a lot.
Almost all. I think all, right?
Yeah.
No, there's a few of about 4 years I wasn't there or something.
No, it was. Yeah, she wasn't there for a while, but she's in the new phase. And you weren't even there when it was harder to set up. It used to be harder to set up.
Yeah, because you have to tote everything there, unpack it.
I've carried how many beds? Like 15 beds.
The folded beds that you fit your whole back of your truck up.
Yeah.
Oh,
tie them down. Then it started sprinkling on the way, so I had to stop, try to put a tarp over it. And then the tarp started blowing up right there. Well, I was going down to Tallapoosa like 90 miles an hour down this, trying to get the beds there dry.
So here's the thing. We have to back other women trying to do these things because it's not easy. And we have to have sacred space for women to come and just ask questions like, so is that not normal in churches?
That would be a great example. That would be a great example.
I didn't know. Okay. Or just have safe space for people to ask questions and just be who they are. And that's what we offer.
Yeah.
Like the weirder, the better. Come on. It's totally fine. We'll flow with it. That's all we do. And to be able to experience different metaphysical modalities in a safe place without somebody being like, oh my God, I can't believe you. Are you a witch now? Here's the thing, everyone. You watched Harry Potter. Are you a witch now?
Look,
it's contagious. It might jump on you.
Might jump on you.
Lately, I've been asked that a lot. Are you Wiccan? Are you this? Are you that? And I'm like, do you need a label?
Who said that?
Random nameless humans.
We don't. I mean,
and I'm like, there's nothing wrong with any of them.
Hello.
There's dark in everything. Dark in every human.
Absolutely.
It doesn't matter religion. It doesn't matter ethnicity. It doesn't matter what you choose as a label. You can either be good or you can be bad. I mean, everybody has that choice. Any flesh suit has that. Even an animal has a choice like that. You can.
Right.
I have a cat on my. You've met him. He's either really sweet or really interesting.
Oh yeah,
and I love him boodles, but why does it have to be labeled like that? And the person that asked me, I was like, at this point in my life, I just want to be like, yes, I am.
I do. I'm like, yeah.
Probably.
Totally. I can't tell you. What do you think? How do you feel?
I was like, I want to tie it together and be like, it's because I lost my virginity. And they're going to be like, that makes sense.
Doesn't it?
Yeah,
me too.
Gotta get him horn.
I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm too weird to be evil. I have a new theory.
I think there's a balance in everything. Like, I'm a good I know I'm a good person, and I'll give I'm good to people.
Yeah.
But don't cross me. You know what I mean? There's a balance in everything.
It's that
and I have no problem
with warrior
respecting
together. Mm-hmm. And I resonate with warrior on you. I'm like, I can see us riding our horses and having knives and be like,
I know I was.
My human wrong.
So
I know I was.
No, I remember.
My approachable nature. So, okay, I've got
sorry, back to that.
My approachable nature. So, okay, this is the theory on black magic. This is my psychic download theory.
Okay, I'm willing.
So, okay, somebody decides, and it has to, magic in general, light magic is okay as long as it's not based on like an egoic purpose. Like if I light a candle for like better money,
Mhm.
That's okay. I'm not involving anyone's name. Just better money for me and my family. That's it.
Mhm.
Or if I light a candle for someone to get healed, that's okay. Just for the best and highest
And
good
I
for
do that all the
everyone.
time.
Oh,
Yeah.
the
Right?
Catholics do it all the time. They have
Yeah.
light the candle in front of their saint.
They do.
Yeah.
And then here's the thing: if somebody lights a candle for like, oh, I need somebody to go down.
It's the downfall of somebody.
I want so and so to just go down.
Yeah.
I want to see that go down. I want to see that person go down. Okay, this is what happens. It'll work,
Mm-hmm.
and you'll be fine. But you know what will happen is you will have to watch every person you love suffer, because this is why. That's not free. There's always a sacrifice.
Yes.
That's why you see like celebrities, not all celebrities, but you see certain celebrities.
I've seen that.
And I've
I
like
believe
looked at
it.
a pattern. They've always got one kid that's kind of like either like their kid dies or like has a bad birth defect or just in general can't get it together. It has like a bad addiction problem.
Yeah, there's always a sacrifice.
It's always a that blood sacrifice thing. That myth is real, but we just don't see it. We don't see it, right? Because we just look at it when life happens. Like, no, they probably did something. They probably called in like an entity that they were not familiar with, didn't know what they were playing with, and they were doing it out of like fear or greed.
Yeah, when that aura is colored, you can see that thread. That's what I see, that thread. And sometimes that thread's really big. And you're like, what did you do? And just because they're on TV doesn't mean they don't carry the aura.
Right.
Oh, absolutely.
So, I mean, regardless. And so some people that are super famous are really they're hurting and they feel so alone, even though they have all these people following
Absolutely,
them.
yeah. Yeah.
So it has
Well,
nothing
that's
to
the
do with
sacrifice.
it, right? That's your sacrifice of,
Mhm.
hey, I've got.
But then you got no.
You got material. You got material, but you don't have the love, the comfort, the nurturing. You just got all that material stuff.
And night times.
And there's a difference between wanting safety. I want like a safe, nice car, right?
Yeah, yes.
I want my needs met. I want a safe
There's
place
nothing
to
wrong with
live.
having nice things.
And then
I love having nice things.
You don't want to just self-identify by things,
right?
So there's a difference.
Well, whoever gets my things,
she does.
I guess gonna have to go to your daughter's because it's bizarre stuff. Antlers and bones. I'm like, okay, if y'all want it.
The Atlanta Oddity show just came in.
Yeah,
I missed it.
I know we did too.
We were gonna go, but I didn't make it.
So we have to like just know. Here's the thing: you don't have to be the best person to walk around in a good mood all the time. Just don't do magic against people, and you pretty much are going to be okay.
Now I set out intentions a lot for things that I can't see. I'll say, no harm to anyone, but whoever is using me, whatever it may be, and they'll break off.
No weapon formed against you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
No words. Yeah, I say that all the time.
Yeah.
And you'll start to see like this tendril, and you'll start to see the tendril drain away. Like the person they will just like dissipate.
And it's always jealousy is always coming from people who are not doing anything. Right? It's never from like another business owner or somebody that can offer like actual help to me.
So
I've been the center of lots of jealous like
you've been in the
stuff.
center. It's just amazing.
People like
I ain't never
me
seen
apart,
nothing like it.
and I'm like because they look at me and they assume that I'm a millionaire and I must have backing from someone, but they don't understand. I may be in front of a room full of people, but I'm making about 10 cents an hour. If you break it down,
you're taking it home. It's that divine alignment, and when it happens, it's intense and awesome. And then some days you're like running 80 miles an hour and you run right into a brick wall.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Because you're also, if you're balanced, your yin and your yang, your ego and your healthy ego and all that stuff, shadow work, all that wonderful stuff that you get to do. Oh, Jesus, love me. It's a constant thing that you need to do. If you're not doing it, no matter who you are, it's going to be off colored. It'll be off just a little bit of a perspective instead of just love that person where they are, whatever they're going through, back to the compassion. We don't know what they went through at night as a child that was 4 and had lost their whoopee, or they had a dysfunctional household, or even if it was a household that thought they were doing their best. Because I really think that my family thought they were doing the best for me. You're going to a private school. You're doing this. You go to this great church. We do this. I don't think they meant or even knew that it was like that. It's like the frog boiled in the water.
Yeah, it's the frog boiled in the water, and they didn't. I think my parents, they were dealing with their own addiction stuff.
Right.
And then church was like the only resource we had.
And it was accepted.
And it was accepted.
If the church honors it, then it's accepted. Not all the time. It's just my world.
Yeah.
I shouldn't
right.
say that as a blanket statement. I'm sorry, but I'm like, in my world, it was
Mhm.
it was like that.
No, my mother told me very young, if you get pregnant, I am not taking care of that child.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was like, do not do it. It's not an option. She literally was like, I'll let you be on the street. Like it was, I just didn't have children. I was like, well, I better just be with women because this seems risky. This whole sex thing seems risky.
It's very risky. It doesn't sound enjoyable. It sounds painful. It sounds like torment. It's like it's a marital duty.
I know.
Everything marital duty. You do not have a headache. You must perform.
Don't enjoy it.
And are you any good? Can you stand up to, even though they said porn and all that was bad, every dude in there watched porn.
Everyone, and we're supposed to be porn.
Well, females too.
Right, females too. They were watching porn.
We were just looking for something else.
Right, and like I don't understand where they were shipping all these virgins in from for these men to have.
I know. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
lots of them out there.
I know.
And then as you grew up, you're like, you had sex when? Oh, what? And here you thought you were like the only person that was like struggling with it.
Yeah, yes, right. That's why we have to tell our stories because we got to take the power away.
Oh, I know. And I was considered old. I used to get taunted in high school because I was like 16 and a half. And in Florida, you're not 16 and a half and still a virgin. I mean, it was happening. Let's see, that was a long time ago. Like you were 14, 13. They had already had multiple partners. And they're like, you are so weird. Why haven't you had sex yet? And I'm like,
I remember
scared
that
of
stigma.
it. Totally scared of it. Totally petrified of it.
I was completely overwhelmed. I was just completely overwhelmed with life at 16. Just life.
Yes, just being,
Like,
who am I?
I mean, they just put me on some antidepressants and sent me on my way to school, and I just found ways to cope.
I wish I had antidepressants.
They had to, I would have killed myself if I didn't, but because it was bad. But then somebody told me last week, and they were like, Andrea, you just get psychic because of your trauma. That's the only reason why you're psychic.
Oh, I've had somebody say that before.
That's
and
true.
I'm like, that's probably true.
Well, it makes you hypersensitive of what's being
That's
around.
very true. The
Yeah.
trauma brain.
Yeah,
Mhm.
because you're already evaluating. Like as soon as I went into here, the first thing I look for is the next exit.
Mhm.
So when I first came to this thing, I was already like, what's my exit strategy? Survival. Be
Yeah.
aware of your surroundings at all given times.
Mhm.
All the time. Because you never know what's going to be going down.
That's me.
Yeah. Up my whole childhood, everything. I mean, I like it now, but at the same time,
As a child, it's too much.
right. It's a lot to go through.
And I was constantly on eggshells. Constantly.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
They did a little
Um,
TV show called Psych. It was a sitcom.
Yeah.
I loved it.
Yeah, it was a good show.
His dad loved him, but also tormented the dude his whole time growing up.
Felicia did go through like eggshells. Like
Oh,
we
yeah.
both grew up with alcoholic parents. Yeah.
Yeah, my dad. There was a lot more to it, but well, no sexual stuff or anything like that. But it was very. I didn't realize how much it affected me until I got older, and then it was just constant PTSD. I didn't even know. I used to make fun of people. I was like, "Man, you got PTSD. Grow up,"
Yeah.
But now it's like, no, this shit's real.
Mm-hmm.
It affects your everyday life, and but then he got it. It was like a generational thing from his mother,
Yeah,
my granny.
yeah. How they were raised and indoctrinated.
Yeah, and I just said, I
Mhm.
can't blame it all on Dad. I mean, he was a good dad. He was a good provider.
Yeah.
And he meant well, but he just did what he knew.
Yep.
What
Yeah,
he,
he
what,
did
or
what he
what he
knew.
or what he
Yeah.
was used to.
What they could rise to. I mean, all parents, grandparents, and the war. I mean, they were going through the Great Depression and different way of like living.
Yeah, this affected my what would you say? My ability to.
No, it is. I can tell with her to take her to a new place.
Mm-hmm.
Like you have to take it to her twice.
See, I didn't even realize this.
She doesn't do well in places she's never been.
Well, yeah, that's unfamiliar territory.
Yeah,
it's like a
I've
safety
noticed that.
risk
I
for
was
flight
like-
or fleet.
Yeah.
Like you feel antsy.
So I didn't really know. I'm just like, I didn't realize that until she brought it up. I'm like, that's true.
Yeah. And I just pick up on other people's trauma responses too.
Well, yeah, because you're used to looking for it.
Yeah.
Because it was a safety thing.
And
Like
I'm
you're thriving
constantly
or surviving.
Right.
I'm constantly like, okay, like one fist up, I'm ready. And I can't, it's just how I am. I can't, and I'm the nicest person in the world, but don't, it's like, you just never know. And I'm like,
Well, that comes from growing up with an alcoholic parent is really because you don't know what an alcoholic parent is going to do. Like they could flip in a second.
They could jump off at any minute.
At
And you're
any minute.
constantly in this type of. Now I didn't have the alcoholism. We were just mainly the cult, but they really thought they were trying to do what they thought was best. But there was just so much undercover under it, like a freaking drama show in the middle, a soap opera. It was literally like living in a soap opera
like living in,
that was church approved.
Mhm.
And so because they said it was okay, it was like this blind following the blind of we're just going to sit and follow whatever they say.
The masses.
Right. There was things in there that were really good. Really, really, really
yeah.
good that I would never take any of that away. But there's moments that I didn't realize were as dysfunctional as they were till we started chatting. And I'm how old? You know?
Yeah, that last retreat, that got you.
That last retreat got me because
when you said that, you went,
oh, I'm real.
my whole
I don't-
jaw.
I remember seeing you just like,
What? And then you were talking about the police should have been called, and this happened, and this happened. And I was like, yo, dude, right there. I'm right there with you. Oh my gosh. And the suicidal thoughts, you guys, people, it's real. It's really real. And it's when you're in that quiet moment where you're fighting the 75,000 thoughts in your head.
Yeah.
Am I sane? Am I not sane? Does it matter if I'm really here? Am I really making a difference? Am I making it worse than them? And then if you have narcissism involved, you already think you're doing the wrong thing.
Right.
And then I had a doormat mentality. I mean, oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm.
And some people come into your life and you're like, wait, that's not right. That's not right, is it? And hopefully you get to help that person before they make that commitment to leave this earth suit.
Right.
And we lose them because if you're that serious about thinking suicidal thoughts, please reach out to somebody.
Right.
It's so real. It's
so
real.
overwhelmed. You can be that overwhelmed where you're just like, I want to stop the overwhelm.
Right,
that's really
right.
what it is.
And it's so different. I mean, every generation says, "Wow, it's crazy right now," but there are some people that like y'all in the retreat and all the people that I've met at the retreat. We're all going through stuff, but that compassion you're talking about, the nurturing.
And so, and I can't even imagine growing up as adolescents and having to deal with social media. Like, ooh.
Well, if they had cameras back in the day, I would have a whole different life.
Right. I know.
I'm not even going to pretend that I'm anything like what the church said I should be. I wanted to be nice. I don't understand mean people. That part never made sense to me. Why are you being mean to that person? Because that's their choice right now in their life. You just love them right where they are.
Like, who cares? Like, their voice matters to you. Like, it matters to anyone. Right. If I'm with a woman or a man, like, why does it matter to anyone? Yeah.
If I pierce, not pierce. If I tattoo, not tattoo. If I have full sleeves, I have met some of the coolest humans in the world.
Yes.
That were Harley riders, and they would scare every normal person, and they're the biggest teddy bears ever.
Yep.
That's one thing that my dad has always taught me: never judge a book by its cover. Like that was a big. So there's things that you get to take away from your childhood and your young adulthood that hopefully you make healthier boundaries as you grow as a human.
Oh yeah.
Just make it. We celebrate day of birth huge. The suicide thing really hit me hard.
Okay.
I mean, it was just like, wow, it's so true. So true.
Oh no, my mom couldn't have knives or razors in the house. Well, my dad too. He used to walk through the house cutting himself. And there would be like blood on the carpet and like everything. Like,
it's traumatizing for a child.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I was just like this little empath. And so I had that at home, but then I could go to church and they could like talk about my vagina. It was like very stressful. I don't know what's happening here.
I think your church talked more about vaginas than mine, but they did do the sexual thing, like, but not. You had a lot of vagina in your church.
It was weird. Like as the older I get, and I've had a lot of training with working with kids and stuff. Yeah. The more I'm like offended. The more I'm like, y'all need to like. Y'all like, apologize to some folks here. Settle down. Like, settle down. Like, I'm a leader and I'm a teacher, and that's great. But I never ever portray myself to be like one of no problems.
Yeah.
Like if I have a problem, I'll tell y'all. I'll be like, I got to tell y'all about Christmas. It was bad. It was bad. I don't ever want anyone thinking that the life of a healer or entrepreneur is just like
no. And just because you. Heal or whatever don't mean you can't. I mean, I had heart failure for God's sake.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean. And if it wasn't for me knowing how to do Reiki, knowing how to heal, and other people around me knowing how to do it, I wouldn't be here. There's no doubt in my mind.
No, I was sitting there. Felicia's in.
It's just constantly because when I'm alone, I'm healing myself. I go within a lot.
And like all the beeps are going off all night in ICU. Started my period.
Oh, holy cycle.
And I didn't have like enough clothes with me.
Oh no.
I know I didn't have enough clothes. and there was like visible blood like on the sweatpants I was wearing. And it was Tasha. I was messaging everybody and I was like, Felicia's in ICU and I started my period. So a bunch of people did volunteer to bring me things.
That's
Tasha
nice.
was like, sure, girl, I got you. Come on, what do you need? She showed up. But like, yeah, the real life happens to healers and entrepreneurs and retreat planners.
Oh, all of them. And I think it happens while you start planning. So it's like once you commit and you get the flyer, or once you commit and you get the date. So I've set like 2 different dates out in the future, and it's like, well, that one's a little close. Okay, maybe we'll do plan B. Because the amount that you have to plan for it.
Yeah.
Like now you got it down. It's the spring retreat and then it's the fall retreat, and it's the perfect weather outside for both.
And she starts planning like right after the next one.
I don't like have breaks.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Because you're rolling right in. Because if you don't have the marketing, then you don't have what you're going to be going forward with.
Yeah, this is not something that I don't have like an off season.
Yeah, no. Everybody's like, "Oh, you're an entrepreneur. You must have lots of days off." I'm like, "Oh my god, I think I work more."
You do work more.
And I thought I worked a ton as a teacher.
No, it's
like,
constant. It's constant reinvesting, constant trying to plan out. Okay, if this don't work out, we can do this. It's just constant.
Or when you have a human that you trust, like you guys, I had you evaluate my forms. What do you see on my forms? What should I do this? Because I'm a more natural setting. So what would you see that would be a safety risk? And how can I cover my ass on this or this? You know,
that was the thing, because I could see somebody eating you alive with that. I was like, oh.
Well, yeah, because I'm very.
And you got crazy people that do it.
I know. And I'll be like, okay, I got nothing.
Well, people who go to retreats because it's trendy.
Yeah, I don't want trendy.
They'll be like,
no, we're about.
I'm going to this cool retreat because it's on Instagram. People do it. And then they're expecting the Marriott.
Yes, yes.
They're literally they are. I mean, like, I've been ripped apart because I didn't have the right toilet paper and the right water.
The right water. Nice. I mean, I understand some filtered water. I am pretty bougie with my water, but
I like my
I've had to change it. Now I'm very clear on this is not a luxury retreat. This is a very community-based organization.
Right, it's healing.
And everyone has a roommate.
When we go, then we kind of all pitch in.
Right.
You know, and I'm all over the place. I'm in the kitchen, out in the woods, helping with this. I'm just sort of all over the place.
This is the reason why we do it, because we have to teach people how to be a part of like healthy communities. And I put a lot of energy and intention into making it like a healthy community.
Yeah.
And that's why we've lasted, because healthy community. And people have to relearn that because they came from either no community or cult community. And this is why we have roommates. Okay, so I went to a retreat and the woman put me in like my own room and everything. It was the saddest thing ever. I felt like I was being sent in my room at night. I was like, are you serious? I have to go there by myself?
No, you get to bond with that person.
I was like,
no, I would have loved it. I'm not going.
So boring. So then here's the reason why I have a roommate thing, because everyone needs a roommate and you don't know what you're going to trigger.
Yes.
And that you don't know what you're going to do. You may walk in and be like, I really have it together. I'm okay. Just here to get away from the kids. And then all of a sudden, I say something that I don't even really mean to say. Just walking past in the kitchen, something will roll out of my mouth. And somebody's like, oh my God, is it triggering me?
And then everything stops. One year we had the lady with the language barrier. She had come out of the yoga thing and you're like, hey, could you work with her? And I couldn't understand her. I can do Spanish a little bit, but I couldn't do as fast as she was rolling it out. But we had the best bond. Our favorite word was noodle, noodle, noodle after that. Because I couldn't get her to relax when I was trying to do massage therapy.
You were like,
she's like holding up her arms. And she was such a sweetheart.
She is.
I mean, just the energy connection alone, it would be sad. I'd feel like a dog in a pound. I have all my friends near me, but I can't touch them.
Right. And also people who have disabilities, you can't see every disability.
Yeah.
And some people just need a buddy. Like, because you can't see every disability, you need a buddy. I need to make sure there's a buddy system in place. You don't know, honestly, what anyone's going through ever. Right. So if you come to my retreat, you get a buddy.
It's always wise to have a buddy.
Always wise to have a buddy.
Or somebody's like, oh, dude, you got to meet this person. And the last retreat, I met so many different people that even Kathy was like, oh, you got to meet Karen. Oh, you. Yeah. And I was like, and then I met Cindy at the gala. And it was just, you get these connections that feel very real through the ages of time. Like there is no time, space, or density at all. Like I've known you my whole life.
Right.
Like hugging Teresa, I've always
everybody's like,
oh, when we were at your birthday and I first got to meet her, Teresa, you the bomb woman.
She is.
That type of hug.
We love
is
Teresa.
That hug that everybody loves. It's that motherly, I accept you no matter what
She
And your
does. She
turtles.
really does. She
I love
accepts-
her turtles on Facebook.
She accepts everyone.
I got to meet them. I got to meet them. And I got to
You
feed
got to
them.
meet the turtles?
Yeah.
What are their names?
I don't know. But they're
I
cute.
gotta know their names.
They're adorable. I think she named them, but they come up, they swim up, and she feeds them. She's got like little food that she feeds them. I got to feed them.
Like for the turtles to come out this year, more than I watch for Punxsutawney Phil to come out about spring. I wait for Teresa's turtles to come back for
I
the
love
spring. They're so
They'll be back. I got to see both of them.
Anyways, talking about community and everything.
Yeah,
like
that's
that,
how I
that
set it
is,
up. That's intentional. It was always very. I've done
You know-
every single thing psychically. Y'all, I made this because I'd done it all psychic. That's how it's lasted.
yeah.
I know.
Right? And I'll be like, we're doing this, and I don't know why we're doing it, but we're doing it, and then I'll figure it out later.
And I just roll with it.
Yes. Like sometimes you're like, I'm going to use this, but what are you going to use it for? I don't know. It just needs to come.
Yeah, it's true.
And then, and you could be using it on the way out because the car messed up and that was the part that fixed it.
Yeah.
Or something really wild like that. Because after you start doing these kind of things, you put yourself out there, like since leaving the school, you all of a sudden you're like, why am I doing this? I don't know why I'm doing this. Okay, I'm driving all the way to Ackworth. Why am I driving to Ackworth? Oh, I'm going to talk about things that I didn't realize were going on in my... Oh, sweet. So it feels great. Let's do it again.
Yeah, no. Feels great. Let's do it again.
Yes.
It hurts so good.
I've just done open heart surgery. How do you feel?
I know. It hurts so good. That's like your healings. You hurt more than I think the person.
No, God, yes. Oh, when they're going through it? Oh, yeah. Just, especially that pelvic floor therapy, when I put you up in the yoga swing and your gravitational is gone, the amount that you pull out of how you were talking about it, I don't think we said
missed
before,
that
your
one.
shake roll.
Yeah.
And your solar plexus, your root, you just, after you're adjusting those hips so much, and then the floor stretches before, you're really primering it before I put you on the table, and I'm going through that with you.
Yeah, you are. You hurt more than other people, I think.
Yes. And when you're gone, I'm like, I gotta go back to the woods. Okay, but it's so amazing.
Me and Felicia left. She had to go back to the woods.
Did you go back to the woods? Yeah, that was fun.
I told you, I was like, I'm screwed up.
Hey,
Good luck.
raise a hand. And I told you I had to be raw and real. I like hollow bone, like a straw. Because, and when I go to the retreats, I do the same thing. Like when I worked on the labyrinth, I take 6 months in and I'm like, what do you want me to hold for the retreat? And then those are the things that I hold until we go in. And for the gala, it is freedom, wisdom, and blessed peace to all. And so those are the 3 things holding for who is supposed to be there. Because it really, you find out it has nothing to do with you. Any of these retreats have nothing to do with you. You just hold the space, and you're just as flawed as the next person coming in. Do I have I been remarried? Yep. Have I been remarried? Did I wait till I got married? No, I didn't. I'm sorry. I just totally did. But I got the 2 awesomest kids, and 3 by family blending, and 1 by another long story. So I've got 6 awesome humans, cats. You've met all my cats. I really feel like everything is for a reason.
Oh, absolutely.
Just completely.
When Felicia came to me, I was like, okay, so you have to be, there's also 30 women that come with me.
Yeah,
And I'm
they're
like,
part of your family.
Okay.
And I don't think she thought I was serious.
Oh,
But I was like, so if you want to meet the tribe, come to this retreat. And then she was like, oh, so you serious? I was like, yeah, I have
completely.
about 30 that come with me.
And they fluctuate. Like Karen wasn't planning to come for like 7 years. Sorry, Karen. I hope I can say that.
I guess.
But anyways, when she showed up, she's like, it's been 7 years.
No, people come in and out. And
I'm
that's
like,
okay because
yeah.
they've learned what they needed to.
Yeah.
And they branched off and then they come back when
When they're supposed to.
Mhm.
And
Oh, yeah,
my gosh,
I
it's
expect that.
amazing. Absolutely amazing. The people that I've met have been phenomenal.
Because I take no expectation on people.
Right.
Like I just don't have any expectation, and then it's just like a fun surprise when they come
And
back.
that goes back to somebody's journey.
Yeah.
Everybody's journey
Oh,
waxes
yeah.
and wanes all the time.
Oh, that's all I do when I'm there. When I'm there, like Sunday morning, I went down to the lobby when nobody was there, just going to wait for coffee. And I'm like, I know I'm supposed to meet somebody. Who is it? And then people would walk in and I'd be like, is it you? I felt like a dog. Is it you? Oh, no, not you. Oh, fine. Oh, is it you? And then when I finally did meet that person and we got to go have that moment, oh my gosh. So cool. Beyond moments. Beyond moment. It's a community. It's definitely a community.
And I'm a total introvert, but I can be a I mean, I'm a people person to an extent, but I get overstimulated, so I have to.
You do great.
I think I do pretty good,
You
considering.
hope. You strap on your big girl panties and
Oh
hope
yeah,
most of
I
it.
mean,
I show her
I'm
where
all
her
about being
space
like,
is.
I be the life of the party and all that stuff. And then it's like I just like, okay, I need to recharge. I call it recharging, and it's true. I don't care what anybody says.
I think everybody has to recharge.
I do.
Just like
I
your
have
cell
to.
phones. Take a
Yeah.
moment and go sit down
Mhm.
somewhere and have a moment. All my kids do it.
I have
And
to
I'm
do
like,
it.
that's self-help. If you know you've hit your boundary, that's healthy
Oh yeah.
to go recharge.
And I know, and especially when my hearing, I'm bilaterally hearing impaired. You know how that is. And
I have hearing aids.
well, I'm working there. I mean, it's not as easy as that.
It
but
is not. Everybody thinks it's miracle.
No, but just go ahead. I'm like,
You hear your hair for the first time.
no, it's too much.
It's intense.
It's
It's
too
very,
much.
very intense. The hearing smiths rock, but at the same time.
But when I get tired, my hearing it gets even worse. It's like I'm in another dimension.
Yes, because you hear the ringing.
And I can't hear, like, it's just like she knows when I get tired, it's like my vibration lowers and I just can't. If somebody's talking to me
and everything, right?
like somebody's talking to me, I can't. I'm just like, it's like they're in another dimension talking. It is.
Like the penis teacher from Snoopy. Wah, wah,
That's
wah,
what it's
wah,
like.
wah, wah.
Mhm.
It
That's
is
just what I'm just like,
crazy
and it just
techno.
wears me out. I'm just like, and it's not even being ugly. It probably seems like I'm being rude. I'm not. I can't help it.
No.
Like she's seen me a million times. I'm like, I'm just tired. I can't.
I
Yep,
just show her
I'm
where her
done.
space is, and I'm like, "This is where your space you need." I know if she disappears, it's fine, but everyone disappears sometimes.
At the
I'm
retreat,
notorious.
everybody disappears. I'll be in the woods. You can't find her. We'll be in the woods.
Yeah, I'm in the woods.
She always knows where we both are.
So
In the
I
woods.
know, they're probably
In the
okay.
woods.
I'm like, they're probably okay. They'll pop up in a minute.
Yep, we come running in.
Everybody
we're
that knows you, they're
"Look,
like,
we
oh,
found a
she's
stick.
in the woods.
Look, we found these sticks.
We found these sticks. They're the greatest sticks ever.
I know. We're like,
And look at this rock. It came to me. On
We're a
its
very
own.
enthusiastic group. And so I'm very excited about the gala. So
Yeah.
I started this goddess gala. I think when you asked me how many retreats you had been on, I think I started it in 2012.
yeah, you've had many,
And I've been
before
doing
me.
2 retreats a year since 2012.
Oh my
So,
goodness.
So Candace has been with you the whole time.
no. You know, Linda has been with me the whole time.
Okay.
Linda.
Mhm.
Ah.
Did you met
Um,
Linda?
I think I don't know if I've met Linda.
You'll like her.
You know I'm really good with names.
Not either. I'm like, who?
Face, yes, I will remember your face forever. But I'm like, your name is
I believe Linda
I'm
runs
saying
Transformational Journeys, and she specializes in LGBT and transgender.
Oh, she's a freaking whiz at that stuff. She can correlate the Bible,
and she
the
wrote the book
transgender.
Transgender in the
okay.
Bible. So Google that, Transgender in the Bible.
And
Yeah.
I love that because it's like when she says it, it's like she's speaking truth
Like,
and
she's
wisdom.
freaking
Like, and
brilliant,
I'm
yeah.
like,
really,
She's
if
brilliant.
they researched it, everything that they're telling about that it's in there.
And
Just
I'm
go
very proud to
research.
say, we were one of the first women's retreat that I know of that welcomed transgender women.
Mhm.
We are blazing the path, blazing the trail. So 2012, I had this retreat. I had this crazy idea to have this retreat. I had absolutely no backing and no money.
Yay.
and she started with like what, crayons or like a construction
The
paper?
first retreat. Yeah. I wrote the, schedule down on the little construction paper I had and did a retreat. I had 20 women sign up. We did the whole thing and it was fine. It was actually great, but I didn't think I was going to do it again. I left thinking it was like a one-off.
Yeah.
And then Linda and Gabby came, Transformational Journeys. And I went to people were starting messaging me, well, when are we going to do this again? I was like, whoa, I'm tired again. Like, seriously? But I had these women come forward and they were like, we'll help. What do you want us to teach? Let's do this. And I was like, okay. So then we did it again. So then I couldn't pay these teachers or these people that gave their time and energy to us. So I was like, we're going to have the Goddess Gala. Again, no money or no backing, but I was going to throw a gala. And I lived in a very tiny apartment in Atlanta, the tiniest apartment in Atlanta, I think. not proven, but I think. And so, as Felicia says, I never really bought furniture anyway, because rent is high. And I don't understand furniture.
I
And
love
I'm a
furniture.
yogi. Why would I need that?
Yeah.
So I think
I love
so
furniture.
I remember going, and I think the first gala I had to rent some tables and shove them in this apartment. And Teresa was doing a psychic fair with me. I hardly knew Teresa, but we're sitting at psychic fair, And I looked at Teresa and I said, "My name is Gala. Do you want to be a speaker?" And Teresa was like, "Sure."
And the rest.
And so now we were like in a bigger facility. We have filming, we have photography happening, we have a whole thing. And it's just to honor women that have excelled in entrepreneurship, elegance, and empowerment in the community. And I am like so wanting to tell people who's getting these awards that everyone knows I can't keep a secret. But this is the only secret I am able to keep. Any other secret I couldn't. But
Last
this-
gala, they got you. She was chosen.
So
That's hard to keep a secret from you.
I know.
Yeah.
So I have people get an award, and I have extra stuff happening in this gala that no one knows about. Extra stuff happening.
Are there goats there?
No, I wish we could incorporate goats.
Goat yoga. Oh, the cutest baby. Goat yoga.
I know.
Oh, I've heard of that.
So
I've
it's
seen
in
that.
Sandy Springs at the inner space, and I don't think goats are allowed in the building there.
No, don't bring the goat.
But maybe one day we can have goats.
I see it happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I might fridge it all in. Come here.
Pajamas.
And I can't wait. But I can't tell you who the people that are being honored are, but I can't wait. And everyone genuinely seems surprised when they get their award. That's what I love it. It's like the Grammys. People are like, "Me?" And I'm like,
why
"Yeah,
me? You were very stunned. You're like, wait, no.
No, I told Kathy, I was like, they messed up the awards, Kathy. The company messed up the awards, and they put the wrong name on the awards. They gave me, that's not right.
And she played along.
Kathy,
Kathy's sneaky.
I love Kathy.
Kathy's awesome. Yeah, Kathy.
Kathy.
Yeah. So we have all had these journeys of trauma, and I think trauma is beautiful. And the more we talk about our trauma, the
I don't
less
want no
power
more.
it has.
I don't want no more. I'm good.
I've hit my quota. Can we call it now?
Right.
Done.
We cap at that, right? Like a deductible? Have
I know.
Capped
Cap
at
the
a deductible?
deductible.
Yeah.
The more you talk
Last year
about
was
it,
very traumatizing.
I think the less it does happen.
Where you don't really react anymore. You're like,
Well, every day she'll come in and she'll be like, "Well, what happened today?" And I'm like, "Nothing much." And then she'll find out like this whole plethora of stuff happened, and she's like, "Why didn't you say?" I'm like, "It's not a big deal
Now
to
her
me.
mom comes in.
It's
and
like no big deal to me. It's like my everyday life."
Her mom's like, "So we found a bone in the yard and we called the cops."
get out. I can so see that happening to
Yeah,
you.
it totally happened. So then her mom, I'm like,
No big deal.
"You found a bone in the yard, but like you thought it was not newsworthy?"
I was like, "Well, yeah, we did.
Her mom was like, "I don't know. It could be human. What do you think?"
No, it did look human though, for real.
It did look human.
We bought the land next door, and we're doing some work over there. And my uncle pointed it out, and he was like, "There's a bone over there. I don't remember seeing it." And we were like, "Really?" So we went over. Of course, my ass picked it up. He goes, I'm like, "Look!"
She's, oh, no.
Yeah.
So I pick it up and I throw it on the other side so they can get it. And it looked like it was from here to here, and it didn't look deer or anything like that. Just to be on the safe side, we just sort of like called the sheriff's department. Like,
We just sort of called the sheriff's department.
I might want to check this out. So they took it. I don't know what they're going to do with it, but yeah, that's what you're going to ask me every day. So I'm like, and then, every day there's something different. So you just never know with me.
It's a go with the flow kind of life.
Mhm.
For sure.
Yeah, I got bit by a dog the other day. What? No big deal.
Yeah.
She come in, I had to tell her about it.
Any stitches?
No.
Yeah.
Just a little swelling. I'm good.
It was fine.
It's my
I
fault.
was like,
Not a big deal. Jason cut his leg with a chainsaw, and he's like, I didn't even know I had cut myself. And you can see in the leg, and I've kept the underwear because I went through the underwear and the shorts, but kind of like you, like, yeah, I got bit by a dog. Oh, wow, bleeding. And you just kind of look at it and you're like, oh, no hospital, no jail. Okay, good day.
I know. She's like, first thing come out of her mouth, you need stitches. I'm like, no, I'm good.
Hydrogen peroxide, little rubbing alcohol.
That's exactly what it is.
Of course you did.
I was like, I'm good.
She keeps you busy.
I know. Yeah.
And I don't mean to. It's just,
I don't mean to.
I can't help it. That's just who I am, I guess.
Well, okay, so I was talking to my friend yesterday from New York. One of my dearest longtime friends that moved from New York, and she moved out to Austell, and she was telling me she saw a fox in her yard. And I was like, yeah, that's Georgia. It's kind of city, but kind of hood, but also wildlife. So you have to like you could get shot or you could like get bit by something.
Yeah.
Like you have to be aware of your surroundings.
Heuristic.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, when we lived there, it was like I seen Bambi and the mama, and then I seen Fox. Oh, we've seen all kinds of wildlife. But then you'd have that shady side to it. It was like,
Oh yeah, that's Atlanta. Like that's also why I'm very psychic. I grew up by myself in Atlanta young. Like when I think about the things I did by myself young, like in Atlanta, like downtown Atlanta.
oh yeah, she done a lot of things. You got broke in early.
And I was like, that's why I'm so psychic now. I'm like,
You have to be aware.
Yeah.
There is no like, hey, has he been following me too long?
no, there's no. To this day, if a car's behind me too long, like I know how long they've been behind me.
Yes.
I'm the same way.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Plus those '90s movies.
That's me with like grocery stores. Anytime I go out to my car, my truck, whatever it may be, I can tell you who's beside me. I can tell you who's behind me.
Oh yeah.
I'm constantly, because we can't hear.
Yeah. So you're hyper aware.
I'm always like hyper mode, like, and I can't help it. It's just how, I don't have this sense, so I got my other sense are heightened. So I'm just constantly
spidey senses.
Yeah.
Like in your younger days, serving. I served downtown in a restaurant.
Uh-huh.
It made me think about this when you said you're always looking behind you. The typical white van followed me to my house, and I parked, took them to my house. By the way, don't take them to your house. Go to the police station.
Yeah, you did.
Yes, I did. And so I pulled up, parallel parked, and went to run. And it was one of those slow run movies where I fell on the way to the door. And it was one of those old houses.
Just like, look,
guys live down here.
Look,
it was a college
look,
dorm type thing. And as soon as I shut the door, you know how they have that one glass piece? There he is at the door. And I'm like, oh, running up the stairs and everything. Call the police. None of my roommates were home. Of course, none of them were home.
Yes, of course, because they've been probably watching you.
who was it?
And I was like, they never figured out who it was. It was just literally one of those big white vans like you see in the movie. Horrible.
Yeah, that's
horrible.
where they put your ass
Go
in
to
the back
the
of.
police station. It makes you aware. Because
Yeah,
you go
it
through
makes
little
you aware.
things like that and you're like, that was different.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Don't look at me like that. No. And for me, the aura, then you'd see the thread. Well, when he hit that window with the glass, holy crap. I'm so thankful for deadbolts.
Yeah.
But I still had to go like up the stairs. So that was my first. And then there was another door. And I, like fall up the stairs. It really happens.
That's intense. Yes.
You really fall. It's that frozen in fear crap.
For me, like we had peeping Toms growing up.
Oh.
My dad was a truck driver, so when we were younger, he'd stay gone for like a week or two at a time. But as he got older, he was back every day. Well, it was me, my sister, and my mother, and he'd be gone. It'd be at nighttime, and I remember, and it's blazed in my brain, this man peeping in the kitchen window with no blind, and we had more than one, and it just to this day. I can't walk downtown. The blinds wherever I'm at will be closed.
Yep.
When it starts getting dusk, because you can see straight in.
Oh yeah, your TV.
I can't. That made me very. My mama was hardcore though.
Mm-hmm.
You son of a bitch!
Oh no, there's
Yeah, all my grandparents have this little side hip.
Oh, I'm telling you, my mama didn't play. I was like,
I was old school, man. Grandma had one in her purse,
Mm-hmm.
and it had a pearl handle because it was very ladylike.
ooh, I bet it was a Derringer.
It's so pretty.
I bet it was a Derringer. Was it small?
Yeah,
It was a little Derringer, I bet.
just enough to give you enough time to get away.
Mm-hmm.
And she was a waitress, so Grandpa was like, "Hey, man, you gotta
Oh.
have this." And so, just a different form of life. Now.
I ain't got her to start packing yet. But I'm almost there.
I'm so approachable now. I give off that aura of friendliness.
The friendliness. Like,
Actually, I've had several people tell me when we go out, like, you don't engage or talk to be like, if I'm paying, it's not that I'm trying to be rude.
yeah.
It's like, I'm not going to connect with you. I don't want to. I want to get where I'm going. And in the city, you don't do that.
No, you don't.
You don't do that. That's how you get killed in the city.
Yeah, don't get eye contact.
Don't get eye contact. You're a street, or you're a street worker or something.
Mm-hmm.
And I do like some street workers. I've got plenty of street worker clients, but that's not my modality. So I just keep walking. And that's even when I've had two people that haven't hung out with me say that when I'm ordering or paying for something that I'm not, I don't engage. And she does every time we go out. I mean, we will know the person's life story.
Oh, like when you guys were in the hospital and she made friends with everybody.
Oh, they wanted to go out
And you're
and
like,
eat.
Felicia's out there making tons of friends right now, and I don't know how much trouble she's getting into. I might as well go check on her.
No, because that was the whole thing. I was like, now
No, they were all like, man, when we leave, we can go out to eat. We can meet up. And I was like, yeah,
You come out, you got like a whole posse coming with you.
I know. Well, here's the thing. They would talk to me on the side also.
Uh-huh.
But then also I know people don't understand this, but when you're in a marginalized community, it's just harder to do everything.
Oh yeah.
You
You
know,
know, and I didn't even think about that.
like it's harder to be gay and be in the hospital.
Oh yeah.
It's harder to be, just like I'm sure it's the same thing if you're Black and in the hospital, or if you are Hispanic, or just trans, or handicapped on any level.
Yeah.
So like, so I knew I was like on high alert for 8 days, like high alert.
Yeah.
You know, plus answering and filtering like all the questions. And they, ICU, they were like, no, she may die. You need to stay here. I was going to go home. That's why I didn't have any clothes. And they were like, we have made you a bed. We would like, she may die. And I was like, okay, I guess I am here with no change of clothes and on my period. But people have a bath. No, and then I had to squeeze my butt into her shorts, which I don't know how that happened.
Oh, okay. She's both like, okay, you got shorts on.
I was like, I defied physics or something, so I could like make it to the car. Like, but yeah, no, it's harder to be in a marginalized community and be in the hospital. And I don't. It's like a hard energy, you know.
Yeah.
See, that's news. I didn't think about that.
And
That
you
didn't come
can't. It's not that somebody would on purpose do something bad to her, but you will get, it's ingrained in people's, their biases is already ingrained in there.
subconsciously.
Just like we were talking about, there's certain people who just still will say inappropriate things to nurses,
Yes.
you know, or
Indoctrination. What was allowed or
Indoctrination.
not allowed.
it's like in their cells,
Yeah.
you know,
It's a lot to get set
and
free from
it's
that.
the same reverse. Like if you see somebody, if somebody's in there that you're not familiar with, or you're not familiar, you don't know how, like I know how to engage with a trans person, with person of any race or color, with a Hindu person, with a Muslim person. If they have a turban on, I can still engage because I'm very secure in myself spiritually and sexually and everything else.
Yeah. It should not even matter.
But there's people who cannot, it's like a,
It's subconsciously too. They don't even realize that.
They
It's
don't know
just
they're
that.
doing it.
It's that. I know exactly what you're saying. It's hard to put in words.
yeah. And
It's because even their family probably that way, so it's just ingrained in you
Mhm.
until they. But it's up to them to change it.
But you run into somebody who's changed it, how loving they are,
Mhm.
how they just love you right where you are.
Well, they broke that barrier.
Yeah. And those people are awesome to run into because you don't feel that. But then sometimes they'll have that smile on, but you still feel that hesitancy.
It's that subconscious.
It's going to come against you.
yeah.
Yeah, like, oh, they're like that. Oh, I have to put up my barrier. And you do the parade wave, and they're not real then at that point, and they'll do things not even consciously knowing that they're doing it, not out of malicious terrorism type of deal, but more of a, this is how I treat this type of person because it said I was told I would have to.
I was told that gay people are bad.
Right.
From birth.
You come, you hug them, you touch them, you're going to be gay.
Or have AIDS or something, just crazy like indoctrination stuff in their head.
Yes.
Yeah. People would come in and they would think I'm her mother and she's a little boy. Like just
It was the way I'm like, no,
I would like read the chart.
no, I'm 44 years old. I'm a
And I
woman.
would like read the chart, and then I would introduce them. I'm the wife, and I will own you if you touch her inappropriately. And that's that whole Atlanta like approachable vibe that I have. And I was like, and they were like, okay. So then you could tell the conversation would change.
Mm-hmm.
They would immediately give me more information, ask me more questions, engage me more in the conversation because I was like, boom, there's my boundary.
And there was one time that she had left. I guess she went downstairs. I don't know where you were. And this nurse came in and gave me a shot in my stomach. Didn't even ask or anything. And it was some shot they usually ask if you wanted to take because I denied it several times. I'm like, no, I don't. I'm good. I don't want it. Something about, remember? Some shot, I don't know what it was, but I didn't agree to it or anything. But it was when she was gone.
And they knew that. They knew that like
it was one that was.
Leave.
I don't even know who she was. She was okay, but there was other ones that were on point. They were awesome.
And then they knew that I was there. And actually, they worked with me once they knew I was there, and I would take care of her. They were like, we don't even have to really go in there anymore.
Oh, they were going like, need somebody to take you bath? I'm like, I don't need nobody to take me no bathroom. I get up and hobble to the bathroom.
Because I was, but yeah, when you're in that, when any of your friends are in a marginalized status, okay, so that means that you're not in the majority of people.
Yeah.
Okay. And like, and a lot of times our marginalization status, it's like hidden.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's hidden. Okay. For instance, you're a white woman married to a man with kids.
Mm-hmm.
So you would think that you're in the minority, right?
Yeah.
They don't know that you can't hear them.
Right. They had no idea that I was hard of hearing. So then if you're not responding, you are, just like you said, marginalized. The deaf community is very neglected.
Very neglected.
That's why when I started teaching in 99 and they were doing ASL with all the younger kids, it meant so much to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I still hadn't even had the hearing loss. This didn't happen until 2005-ish.
Mm-hmm.
And so seeing them struggle, or kids that are autistic, or ones that have a hard time hearing, sign language brings in the senses for you. You can connect on a whole different level. It's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know why we got on sign language.
Yeah,
but
because it is the
language.
deaf community is neglected.
F-E-L.
And then and now I'm very aware of like the availability of handicap spaces and the availability and retreat clinics made me aware of that too, because people have to be able to get in and pee.
Right. Do you have a ramp?
Do they have a ramp? Is there a bathroom?
Ramp is huge. Yeah. Or if it's 2 levels, do you have an elevator?
Yeah, do you have a bed that they can get up on easy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. People have to get in and pee.
Where were we that you were talking about? Only had 2 handicap spots. What were you talking about?
Oh, I was Birmingham.
Oh yeah, the
I was
dentist
in Birmingham.
school.
I was at the dental school in Birmingham, which is they're great, very affordable.
No, that was
But
awesome. The
it
school's
was like
awesome.
2 and they were dumping this handicapped woman. Like you could tell the family just had to pull over and dump the woman out on the walker.
Oh.
And like
I got on the street to walk to the place because it's like you get it's a paid parking lot,
Yeah.
and
Oh.
so and there's only like 2 handicap spots in there in the whole parking lot.
And I'm sure they had to do whatever you got to do. I mean, but
right.
I mean, a wheelchair or
And damn kick you out.
Yeah,
I'll
like,
meet you over there.
Taking the
on.
woman out on the curb, and I was like, "Dang, that's some rough times." She must be from Atlanta too. 'Cause I'm good at that too. Like you just got to drop and roll sometimes. I'm like, come on, drop and roll.
I'd rather do that to you because we couldn't find a parking spot. I'm
I
like,
know.
babe, you just got to go. I don't know. Just go.
I'll catch you later. We'll park wherever.
I know. I said I got to park somewhere.
Yes.
So I was going like to Arby's and sitting for a little while, and then I go Burger King and sit for a little while until I figured out like, okay, I can go in this parking lot.
It's like a drop and roll situation. That's had I not been familiar with Atlanta, I wouldn't have been able to do Birmingham.
Oh gosh, yeah,
You
it's
know.
busy down there.
Yeah.
Very busy.
Yeah.
And the one ways, Minneapolis is like that.
The
too.
one-ways,
Oh, the one ways are like, oh, you
Not
gotta go up,
necessarily.
you never get around. By that time, you could be 5 blocks over, depending on how much you mess up, or if they let you over.
I know that's it.
I'm like, my blinker's on.
Angela's good at that. She's got a way of landing. I love to watch her drive because we'll go like if we're in the city part, she drives.
That's the rule.
But like the country, I drive in the country. I'm all about that. So she don't like driving in the country part, but I'll let her drive in the city. And she's got a way, like I'm like, she ain't never gonna get out. Put that damn blinker on. I swear to God, she maneuvers herself. And I'm like, take that, fools.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you're right, because my mama.
No, I mean, you've been doing. I tell you've been doing it forever because I'm like, she knows what she's doing. I just shut my mouth.
And I'm like, just relax.
I just realized on the time she's got that blinker on. I'm like, she ain't never gonna get over.
And that's a tight spot, and you're like,
Next thing you know, she's like,
And
she's
then
in
we're
that
over.
lane. I'm like,
Jason does it too. He used to drive downtown Atlanta. I can do it. I don't like it.
no, I can do it. I just no.
I don't like
at all.
it. If Jason can drive,
I
he's
don't
like
think
you.
anyone
He just
likes
gets
it.
over. Yeah, but some people handle it better. The pressure of it. Because when I know I'm going downtown, I'm like, okay,
I get
it's
worked
a whole
out.
different driving defense mechanism
Yeah.
type of deal. Where versus here, I'm like,
Oh no, I get nervous driving in Dallas. I get turned around in Dallas.
She thinks
like-
Dallas like Paulding County's worst traffic. I'm like,
And you know why? It's because the cars are gigantic.
no. She said, look, she said they just go so fast to me. I'm like, if a car's from here to there, I'm turning because I know I could have went 5 times. I'm like, Andrew, you could have went 5 times before they go. You just don't know about these people. They got some big trucks and they fly. And I'm like, you're talking about me, aren't you?
They're in gigantic cars flying around curves.
usually an SUV or a big truck.
Yeah.
My girls do not like trucks.
Yeah.
I love trucks.
I know. They're like trucks. They get all pushy. They're bigger. And I was like,
They're
not
right.
like- yeah. Well,
They
and
are.
not all of them. There is this rare gentleman that will keep his distance, won't ride up on your
Yeah,
hiney.
yeah.
Kayla's like, he's
And they're
kissing
about
my
70,
chocolate
80
starfish.
Look,
and I was
yeah.
like,
They about 70, 80 years old too.
because
Because they can't see. They're going.
Oh, bless their heart. Seriously. Oh my goodness, bless them.
Okay, so the gala is March 2nd, and it is every year in March where we honor women in the community. If you would like to nominate someone, just go to my website and shoot us an email.
Yes.
Also, go out and give a woman an opportunity today. And thank you for watching Harnessing Your Divine Feminine. Woohoo!
The Feminine Show is produced by 8 Robinsons TV. Subscribe for only $30 per year for access to exclusive and archived content. Visit www.8ROBINSONS.tv. Thank you for watching.